Minecraft is boring and it hasn't changed in any dramatic ways recently, so I fixed that by making a mod pack that gives Minecraft and most of its mechanics a complete overhaul. But first, I broke Minecraft up into a number of different categories on the things it has. First, I did performance. Then, I wanted to overhaul the terrain to make it more feel epic. Then I wanted to add more structure because there's not really that many different ones. And then I wanted to just add a bunch of miscellaneous things like skill trees, dynamic lighting, better sounds, and all that fun stuff. So let's get started with the performance so I can actually run all this. So as everybody knows, Minecraft isn't known for running well, so I just installed some basic mods to speed it up. To speed it up, I installed Sodium. To make it have a better render distance, I installed Voxy, and to speed up chunk generation, because that's sometimes a problem when you're flying fast with an Elytra, I installed C2ME, which really speeds up chunk generation to an impressive amount. But now with all these cool mods, let's make the scenery a bit more interesting. So because I'm making a Minecraft 2, I wanted the terrain to feel epic, so mods like Terraliths or Biomes O'Plenty were just not gonna cut it. So there's a lot of them, and I really like epic terrain. Now this mod really didn't have a compatible version for the version I wanted, so I decided to get a downport of Voxy to make it work. Which is super nice, because now I can have the coolest terrain ever. As you can see, this terrain looks absolutely sick in my opinion, and it is just the perfect mod for making a Minecraft 2 with terrain. Now there's some other ones I went over. There was one called Valley, and then there was another one called Tectonic, but these were just too similar to vanilla Minecraft for my taste. And then there's JJ Thunder to the max, and that one was just too extreme. Epic terrain was a great sweet spot. So now the world looks pretty great, but usually you're actually close to it, so let's get the stuff within your field of view looking better too. So now the stuff like sugarcane and doors don't look amazing in the basic game, so I installed some texture packs like Default 3D, which make the game look a lot better. Also, I installed this flower grass texture pack, which just adds variance to the flowers, and then adding even more variation to grass, I installed this rocks texture pack. Well, actually it's a mod, but it adds a bunch of rocks, sticks, pine cones, starfish, all these cool things, which make Minecraft just feel so much more alive. And then lastly, I felt the need to up Minecraft's animations. So for this, I just used fresh animations and fresh moves to upgrade the animations and just, again, make Minecraft feel more fresh. Lastly, it just kind of looks bland lighting-wise, so I just installed Iris and used BSL. So now the game looks and is pretty great, but it still functions the same, so let's change that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's not a lot of structures in Minecraft. There's just like really the same 8 villages and a couple other random things. So I installed a bunch of structure mods. Let's just rattle some of them off here. And there sure is a lot of them, so let's go. First up, we got the Cherry Monastery, then we got Choice Theorem's Overhauled Village, and then we got a bunch of others, and I just spammed all of Young's structures, cause you know, what would be a better Minecraft without them all. We got Nullscape to completely overhaul the end, which does add some end structures, but I'm getting ahead of myself, and we also added towns and towers. So yeah, there's a lot more structures, and they're all really cool, but I can't really show you, so you're just gonna go have to explore the mod pack yourself to find them all. So now the game's looking pretty great, but there's just all those little details that really add up that we need to add. So let's get started with all the little things. I'm just gonna go in order of how they appear in my mod pack, because that's easiest for me. And that's why would I do anything else? So first of all, we installed this AFK camera, which I think looks sick. And yeah, that's like one of my main camera overhauls. I didn't really do any other camera overhauls because all the other camera overhaul mods just didn't look great in my opinion. So that's camera. Next is sound. So there's a lot of stuff. I installed ambient sounds. Then I installed a bunch of other stuff. So like presence, footsteps, sound physics remastered sounds, and a couple other things probably. These just give so many ambient sounds, as you can hear through this beautiful ASMR while I am yapping away. I'm literally a professional yapper. Now for some other random things, I just got like default skill trees and pufferfish's skill trees. These both really help with like adding more progression to the game. Then I also added the mod HT's tree chop. That's really hard to say, my god. And that just, as it says, as you can see, you just chop trees slower. I also added E4MC. This is kind of like essential. It lets you play with your friends on Java, but it doesn't have all the microtransactions. Now some other stuff I added, like what are they up to? This is something that shows like what are other people up to, as you can probably tell. We also have visual workbenches and then the visual anvils. So just like more visual stuff, that kind of things. Now I also added item physics, so when you drop items, they fall. And then also elytra and more cape physics, as you can see. This is all just like super duper cool stuff. And there's even more that I didn't talk about in this video, but now me and my friend are gonna beat it with all of the mods. When I say beat it, I mean beat the game. And lastly, I decided to add some progression features. So I added some spells, harder like structures. I used all of Young's mods to do this. I added a mod that makes a dragon fight harder. I added a bunch of like new armors and some quests. Now, this was recommended by a friend who just said that they didn't feel the game itself had changed much, and they were completely right. Up until this point, I'd been just changing the graphics, but I didn't actually change any of the gameplay. So yeah, I got some mods for this, but not a lot, because I really don't do much with those kinds of mods. So if I missed any really cool ones, please comment so I can then add them to the pack, because I know there's a lot out there that I'm probably missing. But now let's go to me and my friend beating the game. So I'm just going to narrate over what's happening here. So this is a mutant creeper, and I'm using a spell wand. Here are some of the things that the mutant creeper can spawn. They're like mini creepers that really aren't that dangerous and really easy to kill. However, I did find out the hard way that when you kill one of these mutant creepers, you get pulled in by something, and then it explodes in your face and kills you, which kind of sucks. Also, the shaders were being awfully trippy with these azalea leaves. And then I noticed that this sunset was pretty, and oh, what the heck is happening with the terrain over there? There's also this cool, I think it's a nether fortress that I found in creative while just screwing around in the mod pack. And here's a mine shaft I found while exploring with my friend. As you can see, it's a huge cave, which looks sick. Finally, this is what killing the ender dragon looks like. It just sits up there pulsing. Sadly, it keeps doing this until you manage to walk up there and hit it, which is kind of annoying. Then it finally dies, but that's all for this video. The mod pack is linked in the description. It's actually super fun. You could go try it out, or you could just subscribe and join my Discord. I don't really care, but I'll see you guys in the next one.